Greetings. In this video, I'm going to go over a number of loose ends, basically, a number of small topics that have to be kind of brought together in one video while we conclude the exterior of our Sears home. Okay, so my cheat sheet here is we are going to add the original drawing to the cover sheet. That'll look good for the presenting the outside. We'll make sure we have a slab and grade on place, and we'll add some footings. Resolve the bottom of the house there so it looks good in section. We'll add some sidewalks and a topo. We'll review stairs, fitting them in these tight houses again. Adding materials, painting, and split face tool, and then adding some new elevation. So a lot to cover. All right, so number one, we're going to add the original to the cover sheet. Okay, so here's my first image. My first title block, that is. So I will go to image, and then I will search for my JPEG that I saved somewhere and drop it in. So that's pretty easy. Now we could easily resize as we see fit. We should make it pretty big, actually. Okay, and then I want to create a camera view that is going to mimic this. So let me jump onto the floor plans, or we don't need ceiling plans. Let's close that. First floor, and this is the view that I'm going to try to mimic. So let's go to get a camera in here, and we are kind of looking from this side, 3/4 view. So let's just start here, pull it out, and click, and there it is. Let's affect the crop region here. And then we could put that. There's my 3D view 1 I just created. Back to this sheet. 3D view 1. Bring it over. Click, and there it is. Then while we have it selected, we bring up the size crop. Move it to scale. And now it is about 6.5 inches. Doubling it would be 12. Let's make it 15 inches. Let's see what that looks like. And apply. Okay. Maybe a little tight. There's a good amount of white space. So I will let you fine-tune it. I think that generally looks pretty good. So what I do want to show you regardless, so the sizing and whatnot, I'll let you be creative about and make it look proper and nice. If anything, this is maybe a little tight, but generally looks okay. But what I do want to show you is how to adjust the camera effectively. So we want a floor plan open. We need that. A 3D view is good. So we have, so this is the camera view, this is the 3D view in a section. Let's just have these 4 open and go to, let's go to the floor plan first, and then click here on the view, show the camera, and there it appears while I'm on the first floor plan where I placed it. And now I could go to view, tile views, and now I can see everything. So there's my camera, there is my view that the camera is creating, here is my title block, and the 3D view. So let's just say, for instance, that I want to see more of this right-hand wall. Maybe I feel like I foreshortened it a little too much, and I want to display it a little bit better. So I'm going to come over here, and then I will swing it a little bit to the right. Okay, I don't know if that's better or not, but you get the idea of how to view these. And then also recall that here is the camera, and here we have the eye. That's the photographer's eye is at 9 feet, so a little unnaturally tall, and the target is straight ahead. So if we look at theirs, that's probably not too far off. Yeah. So have to experiment with it. So the eye elevation, let's see what 6 feet, something a little closer to an average. Now, I think that doesn't really help. That makes it feel like we're looking up more. Let's just see what the opposite looks like, 12 feet. I kind of like that. I kind of like that, seeing a little bit more of the top. We could see more of the top of the shed roof there. So you get the gist. That is how we could adjust effectively. So let us go back to the tab view. Okay, good. All right. Next up on the to-do list is finishing the slab on grade and the footings. Okay. So let us take a look at, let's take a look at the 3D view. Okay, so let's just look upside down. So we have our porches, front and back, and then we have our house footprint. And when we look from underneath, that is what we see. Here is our house footprint. Okay, that's what's holding up the second story, these walls. Then our porches are lighter. They do not carry the weight that these exterior walls are carrying. So what we want to do is select these. Let's select this. So I'm going to hold Control and select the bearing walls for the house. And they, here in the property box, we're seeing that they the top constraint is where I originally sent them, to the top of the second floor, and they're starting at grade. I want them to come down about 3 feet below grade. That's appropriate for here in Pennsylvania. Apply. That is the bottom of the frost line. If you're in Florida, you don't have, there's no frost, there's no freezing ground, so it could sit right, these footings would be able to sit right up top. If you're up in Maine or Michigan, the footings would probably be down 5 or 6 feet or so. But here in Pennsylvania, it's 3 feet, so that's where that magic number comes from. And so when I look at buildings in section, that's kind of what I'm used to seeing. So that's why I'm applying that. These should also come down. So I'm going to do those as well, actually. In real life, these would be built up really with just some columns and not have these continuous walls. But in section, this will be more acceptable than having them go nowhere. Sitting on grade when I say go nowhere. So the top offset is set. We want the base offset to go to -3 as well. So it'll look a little more believable in section. And then let us add the footings. So we will come to structure. Here are our footing. Under foundation, our footing options. We'll come to the wall. We will find the most modest is a pretty big footing, 24 inches wide. So let us edit the type, duplicate it. Let's turn 24 to 16. And then we have, let's go with 8 inches. 12 becomes 8 and 24 becomes 16. And here's our 24 that becomes 16. So that's 1 foot. 16, 1 foot 4, and our toe length 8 and thickness 8. Let's see how this looks. Okay, and then we just apply them. So one more time, structure, wall footings, and here they come. And this is just for the parts that hold up the house, not for the porches. Okay, here, and let's take a look at that in section. Not bad, not bad. And then we need some sidewalks so we could see where grade is. We see the word grade there, but it would help a lot if we could see grade. Let's give us a little more room here. Let's open up our bounding box. Crop view. Okay, space everything out a little bit easier to read. Okay, so grade. We want to get some sidewalks. So let's take a look at our plan, and we don't have anything to go on. Some of these old, so we do have this. So we have sidewalks coming straight out both sides, and they kind of put us on a corner lot here. So let's do that. All right, so let us go to, we're on our first floor. Let's see what this looks like at sight. We can't see our stairs. It's a nice roof view. Nice roof view. We'll maybe circle back to that, but let's do the work right here. And we could hide this. This is not really offering us much. Hide in view, element. Okay, we could see hide in view category. Again, need a little bit of space. Let's take a look at our 3D view. Okay, I do not have stairs yet. Let's put some stairs on this. Straight ahead there. So architecture, stair options. I am going to go with, because it's outside, I'm going to go with the cast in place. Stairs inside the house should be here, the assembled stair. That looks best in section. Outside, we'll do a monolithic big concrete piece. We're going from grade up to the top of the first floor. We can select, pick it up. Let's just pick a number. Let's get a measurement. Let's give it the green light, even though we don't like the size. Let's say we want our stair to come from the middle of our door to a little off there. There, 1'10". So that double 1'10", and we get 3'8". Okay, now let's center that. Yeah, so we have a 3-foot door, and our stairs are a little bit bigger. And give that the green light. Just a little more space. This all got moved about. Okay. And that looks decent. It too would have a foundation, but I think we could let that go. Yes, so looking better. We need some columns, but this is looking better. That's what we should be, about 3 feet below grade. Okay, so what's next? Let's just take a look at that in 3D, make sure. Oh, so a topo is, oh, and then our topo and sidewalks are next. Okay, so do we really have on this? I'm just going to pretend like there's one staircase. There might have been another staircase here, but I'm going to keep this simple. Okay, so back, we could draw this on the first floor. And so I would just do this as a floor. Trying to think about what size I want. So we'll just come here, edit, duplicate. Let's just make this, dedicate this just to the sidewalk. Okay. 4-inch sidewalk and some boundary lines. So I'm just going to take it from my imaginary sidewalk. And this, I'm gonna put a little angle on it. So it would be 3 feet would be nice. And I'm just going to come straight up and make it 3'6" on the angle. Which doesn't really exactly answer my question. 3'3", so I didn't get my 3, so it's about 3'3". So we're coming here. I'm going to do this by eye and not overly worked up about it. This matters. Let's. Good. All right, and we are not at the top of the first floor. We are on grade, and that should do it. Apply green light. And take a look outside, and it looks like we have a sidewalk. Okay. And let's take a look at that in section. All right, that looks good. Now we want to put in some grass and learn a new feature. All right, so let's jump back to our first floor plan and let's put in a topo. Okay, so this would be under, where does this live? Massing and Site. Massing and Site Topo Surface. Okay, so they're not on view here. They typically like us on our site plan. All right, I'm just going to jump out of that. I want to hide these things. All right, one more time. Topo Surface, good. All right, so let's make this a wireframe so we could see. And what we're doing is adding a three-dimensional surface that's going to be each of these little dots that I'm going to do one right on the side to make this clear. So drawing some earth, and that is all those dots, all those elevation markers are coming out at 0, 0. Now if I add one, I could let's just add one that's 3 feet tall. And now you could see those grade lines that are appearing. And then if we look at it in 3D, and then give it the green light, and now, and let's actually first look at it right in elevation. So my elevation markers are not showing it. Super quick. There. Okay. So all those elevation markers had this were set at 0, and that's why this is all flat. And then I dropped in that 1 3-foot one, and it jumped right up to here. So one of them is at 3 feet, and the others are all laying perfectly flat. And then I could select this element, edit the surface, select that guy. That's the 3 foot. I could take him back down to 0. Did that work? Yes, that should have worked. And then if I look at it again in elevation, I forget which elevation I was able to actually see that thing in. There it is. It's all lying on grade. And then back to the site. And then if I wanted to place a new point, I could come here, and then I could drop a 3 foot right in the middle. And now I'm kind of creating I just put like a kind of a tent pole right underneath my carpet or underneath the sheet there, and then it just pushed it up so that I have a kind of a tent, and you kind of see it. Let's exaggerate that. At 3 feet, let's make it 23 feet. There we go. So there's my tent. Okay, so now we can do away with that. That is the gist of them. The way I just drew this is super flat, so we're not going to have any such adventures as building kind of pyramids in the dirt. But nonetheless, it's a good exercise to go through, and we could keep it simple. You could play with it all you want. Actually, you could set up a backyard if you want. But I set up the earth to be very flat on these two sides, but then maybe we could taper off and do something on the other side. So let's jump into site, and I put this on wireframe because it was showing me just the roof plan, and the roof plan, when I put those points down, I have to get all the way up against the house. So I cannot drop it at the edge of the roof, otherwise there will be no dirt connected to the house. So wireframe, Topo Surface, we will put this, let's take a quick look at elevation. Let's just cancel that one more. So we will put this at, the sidewalk is coming in at grade, and I would like the earth to be about 2 inches below that. So I'm going to put the earth at -2 inches below grade. So grade here actually represents my top of sidewalk. All right, so grade is, so this is not the best title really. This would be kind of top of sidewalk, and grade's a little bit below that. And I'm not going to change this because I have stairs that are properly connected to it. So I don't want to undo stairs. So I'm just going to cheat my earth down 2 inches. So back to site, and let us, where are we? Are we in edit boundary? What do I have selected? Here we go. Topo, and we are going to -0.2 inches, and that's relative to grade. And this is going to take us, so again, a little tricky. We have, I'm going to draw it, so I want earth tucked in here under the stairs, so I'm going to start it here at the back of the stairs. Let's see if I could remember all this as I move around. And it's going to start drawing some funny lines. It might appear as if I've done something wrong. I'll change these later. Okay, that is one group, and then I will put in a second group, placing points, so this isn't much drainage. I'll just move that 1 inch. And these against the, in real life and in drawing, they should be a little more exaggerated than 1 inch. Let's see what that does for us. Okay, and let's give it the green light and check it out in section. So let's open this up a little bit. Where's our other section? Okay, so we see the earth there, so we have to add a topo surface. So I have earth, well, no, I do want earth in there actually. If we had a full basement, we would not want earth down here. Then we would have to do something, but in this situation, we should actually, it should be dropped a little bit right there. So we would want to add a topo surface, I believe. Let's see how that works for us. A building pad. So, building pad. And we will draw this at grade, and this will remove, so now I'm going to draw it inside the foundation wall. And this should remove the earth from inside here. Let's see if that works. Green light. And yes, it's thicker than it needs to be. Height offset from level. Not sure why it's showing as deep as it is. That doesn't really make sense. Alright, that helped. not 9 inches. So maybe it was down 12. I'm not sure what the logic was right there. But that looks better. That's our slab. Yeah, that looks better. That looks fine the way it is. Okay, so I had to adjust the height of the building pad. So the building pad takes away the soil from inside of a space. And if you had a full foundation, that would be especially important. But in general, this looks good. Yeah, so you can see a little bit of a drop there. So let's just jump right into site, select, edit, and I'm going to grab these guys. Let's make that 12, and let's just see. Hopefully I'm not causing problems. Not even noticeable here. Maybe it's probably more noticeable on this other section, perhaps. Yeah, it's beginning to be a little more noticeable there. Okay, so that is our site plus topo plus end. Let's just take a quick look at 3D. Okay, let's jump into a realistic view. Okay, let's apply a material to it. So we select it and we come right into our property box here. And then we can select by here. It'll send us right into the material browser. So I set this up already. So let's just cancel that actually and just start from the beginning. So if we're not selecting, not going to the material box the way we typically do with walls, just know that you could find it here as well. So manage materials, and then we could create. So that's what I did. I just came here, created a new material, applied grass to it, so that when I came here and I arrived here, it was already loaded. Okay, so this is the stuff that's already been created and loaded, and you can't do it both in the same place like with walls. Okay, so then let's just say okay, and we have grass applied. Okay, I'd like to show you the paint tool now. So here we are in a 3D view. Come up to our modify tab, and here is the paint tool. So adding paint, removing paint. So once we click on the paint tool, it opens up our material browser that has all of the materials that we have created for this, created for the project are here, loaded here. So what we have to do to back up to make sure that what we want is in there, we have to go to Manage Materials, and then here, you know the material browser. So this is, we get there by way of walls. If we're changing a material on a wall, it'll take us here, and we could create a new material, rename it, and let's call it, I already created an exterior siding one. I'll just call this wood siding. Okay, and then we could come here, siding, not too many options. The appearance library has more siding, and here we have clapboards, all sorts. So let's go with wood horizontal cedar. Click over, so now it's populated. Okay, and now when we go to modify paint, this opens up, and what did we just create there? Plywood or wood siding right there. All right, so now this is in effect, this box has to be open, I have to be on it, and now I come and I do the selecting. So there it is. So I just applied that material there, and I could keep going as such. Okay, that is painting. Okay, next I'm going to build this staircase. And one of the challenges is that the staircases were very tight, probably not code compliant today, especially this triangle piece. But I'm going to draw what's here regardless of code compliance or not. And what I think I'm going to do is cheat and make this, so there's a step up here and then a step on this winder here, and then the staircase run goes. So there are stairs with landings in Revit, but I don't know that they'd allow you to do this, and I'm just going to approach it a different way regardless. So what I'm going to do is create some floors. So floor. I will duplicate this one, and I will make this 7-inch stair floor. And that's all good. Okay, and let's just jump right into elevation quickly and see where we are, or section would be better. So sections are here. Okay, so we are going from the first floor to the second floor with this staircase, and if I drop a floor in, my new stair floor, it's going to come in right underneath here. So I'm going to jump back there, rectangle, first floor, plus 7 inches. And I'm going to start right in this corner and come to what will be the platform. Plus 7, and that hopefully worked. Okay, and then let us jump into that section, and there it is. Looks good. All right, back to the first floor one more time. And let's do it one more time. So, architecture, stair, first floor. No, not stair. Sorry. Get out of the stair. X out of the stair. We're doing floors. Floor. First floor. 14 inches, or 1'2". And I'll snap right to that one that I have started. Into the corner. And give that the green light. Check it out in section, and that looks good. Okay, one more, and then let's do the stair itself. These might actually look better if they were pulled out a little bit, but let's draw the stair first, actually. So now we will do stair, and we will do the assembled stair. We are taking off from the first floor, that is correct, but we're taking off 14 inches above it. And we're going to the second floor. And we're going to start right here and pull it all the way out. And you can see how far that thing still wants to go, even though I shaved off two stairs. It's still reaching way into that room. Let's take a look. Okay, now the stair is in and it's extended very far. And here we have to give it the green light, so it is at the proper height. It looks odd here, so these should be extended. That's what I was hinting at when I was drawing them, that I knew that they'd be better out here, so this was sitting on it. So that's one thing we could do, is extend these underneath, because this would sit on it. And then here, this is correct. So this is the top stair, and right here, this is the top of the stringer gets hung right on that on the floor right there. So that's where the last stringer should be coming in, about 7 inches down. So what I want to do now is give it the green light, and then I'm going to notice how this changes here. So we have the desired number of risers, so 14 steps up, actual tread depth. So maybe we could just change it. Right here. Let's just change that right to 9. No, so this is saying that there's something within the specified stair type. All right, so cancel. Let's just keep that right at 11. Give this the green light. Now it's done. Select it. Now we could edit the type. And now when we come in here, we see the minimum tread depth, and that's the 11. So this is code today, and 11 is safe. So that's the distance right there for us to put our foot on the stair. You're not going to get maybe a little bit less than 11, 10, maybe the actual code's 10 and something. I don't recall, but but this is safe. And so back in the day when these were designed, I suspect it was not required, because I've been in plenty of old houses where they're not nearly 11 inches. My old house from 1902 has the third floor stairs are very tight, like in that regard. So let's say okay, move it to 9, and then here the actual, again, move that to 9, and we could see it all tightens up. So a treacherous stair, but it just saved us a lot of space. And so it's still jutting into that room a little bit, but I think we'll just let it go at that. And then let's jump into the section. Select the floor that we need to edit. Let's look at this. Where were we? Maybe on the second floor. We could see the staircase. Good. So now we could open this up. No. And looks good. And then correcting these is easy. Edit the boundary, take us to the first floor. Yeah, that's fine. So now we could select and move one stair in. Green light for that one. Select the rectangular one below. Bring that one in as well. And so the reason I showed this, so there are ways to do landings within Revit, and if you have a new modern code compliant staircase, it's worth exploring. But it's also, in some circumstances, it's worth thinking about other paths to solve problems, and that's what this was an example of. But let's jump into there, and now we look pretty good. So now we have a stair that's sitting. Okay, very good. I think... Oh, so the last thing was just setting new elevations. I just wanted to make a note of that. So if we wanted, for instance, to put a dormer right in here, so do I have my roof? Yes, I have my roof is level 5. Okay, so elevation. So this is just creating working elevations, not to be shown, not to be displayed. So this, for instance, we could call this dormer bearing, and you could accomplish this. You could accomplish this just the same by setting a wall here and just adding 3 or 4 feet to it using the offsets. But sometimes it might you don't have to do the math, or it might be easier if you just add new elevations to accomplish these things. So I'll go up to the roof plan, and then I'll add a dormer there, or the beginning, to just at least the walls for the dormer. So level 5 is where I want to head to. There it is, and then wall. Generic wall is fine, and we are going to our dormer bearing. So unconnected might be fine. That's definitely not. Let's just do that, because we don't. The only thing above it is the roof, which is way up in the sky. We don't want that. So let's try this, and then we could come in here and begin our dormer, which would not be facing. Should really be facing more like in this direction, I believe. Something more like that. Let's take a look at that in 3D. Yeah, so not bad. And then, so of course we'd want to look at it in section. And then we could determine, for instance, that maybe roof dormer wants to actually come down. Maybe it wants to be at 19.3. And then we could manipulate it that way. And it actually would want to cut through this roof, and that would get cut off. Okay, I think that is everything. All right, so thank you for hanging in there. I know that was a lot of information, and good luck wrapping it up.